What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey.
I'm your host, Chris.
This fool here, oh my gosh. You know what? I don't even want to get into it. You already know it's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. Everything good with you, bro?
Yes, sir.
It must be because you got them shades on. You know who he reminds me of?
No, who does he remind me?
Rich.
Maddox?
Yeah. Let's go crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, you might have peeped the nice little intimate segment right there. This is one good mentor right here of mine, Reggie B, wonderful martial artist, 4th degree black belt. If we don't want to throw it in there, do we want to throw it in there, Reggie?
Just did.
I think so. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Everything good with you, brother?
Everything's very good.
All right, that's big. I'm gonna say. Oh my God, that hurt. Told you he martial artist. I'll try to get my buckets in. I got
no Reggie. Coming on today, boss. Thanks for having me. No problem.
All right, bet. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we're not gonna hold y'all too much. We're gonna get right on into the episode. So let's get started. All right. So look, fellas, we've been watching some sports, right? You know what I'm saying? We've watching little hoops, some other sports, right? But we've been watching TV too. TV is right.
Yes. Wait a minute. You've been watching sports, but you've been watching TV?
Oh, yeah.
Sports was on TV.
It's on the TV, but it's not TV. We're talking about TV shows. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about movies even.
All right. We talking about movies? We talking about movies.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But
all right.
Today, though, we got to start it off with this wonderful show called Your Honor. All right, it's on Netflix. If you haven't peeped it, it's definitely a good one, right? I told him to watch it. He told me thank you, and I said, "Nah, brother, I can't take that credit because Reggie told me to watch it." So, I mean, I felt like we got to talk about it at some point in time because we all love the show. But more importantly, I think it actually correlates to the NBA, maybe in sports in general. But let's talk about it, shall we? So, Reggie, you mentioned this one about the judge, right? Like running every day. Running is important.
Running is important.
As a martial artist, why is running important to you specifically?
Running is a cardio. It's also a discipline. And for the judge, it was something that he was able to do all of the time, and it increases that dopamine. When you're doing something every day, all the time, your body gets used to it. You start craving it, and you get good at it, right? And you start building up those muscles, and your body starts to just find that zone. Now, not everybody runs, and not everybody's body is built to run. But for the purpose of the movie, that judge was built to run. Bruce Lee, he would get out there and run 5 miles every day just because.
That's a lot.
And when he was training with other people, he would just say, meet me at such and such a spot. And he would just take off running. Either you kept up with him or he left you behind.
Well, I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, this brother won't doing all that. He was just running just to clear his head. But I mean, as a martial artist, I ain't gonna lie to you.
But it's a quiet space when you run, right? Because a lot of times when you're running, you're able to think. You're able to meditate. You're able to focus, and because it's just you and you.
Yeah,
when you're doing that every single day, sometimes you look forward to that moment where you're not being distracted by all the external forces. You're just in your own headspace and you can process your own thoughts while you're running.
Yeah, and he was able to do that too. And just for a little clarity, right? So in the movie, one of the main characters, and let me make sure I get these names right?
Please do, because I don't remember everybody's name.
So Adam is the young man of Michael, right? Michael is Michael Desiato, and he's the judge of the movie, and at least one of them. And so Adam is his son. He ends up hitting another gentleman by the name of Rocco Baxter, and so Rocco ends up unfortunately passing away. And so from that moment on, they had been trying to cover up that murder, essentially, right? And the unfortunate thing, on top of the unfortunate thing, is Rocco's dad
Jimmy.
Yeah, he's not someone to play with. You know what I'm saying? Like you see these Blue Devils, right? Yeah. You see these Blue Devils. Remove the blue. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about, right? So that's essentially what the movie is, and they're trying to hide the fact that they um took out Adam. And again, I mean Rocco. I'm sorry, accidentally. So with that, we were actually talking about this a little bit. Matter of fact, because you brought it up, actually, believe it or not. So I'll let you speak on the comparison sake between Adam and Rocco, and then who we was talking about in the NBA.
Oh, and Bron.
It shocked me. That was
no. So like, I can see like a comparison with like Jimmy and Bron, because like Bron is not a person that nobody want to get mess with. So he trying to put that same pressure on Bronny. Now, is Bronny and Jimmy Son, are they the same like type of people? Absolutely not. But but the people are trying to hype up Bronny. So I can see like a small like a comparison to it, but what says you?
so. I mean, I'm gonna take a quick little pause, right? Because we do have a guest on the show. Normally, I'd respond, but we gotta make sure you get your talking time in. He do like to talk to us, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let him fool you.
It's three of us here. I'm sharing.
But no, so what excuse me, what's your thoughts on the comparison essentially between LeBron James and Bronny to correct me if I'm wrong, you were talking about the Baxter family, yes, right?
Yeah.
So the Baxter family and I don't know. That's an interesting take. I wasn't that fan of it. Like, what's your thoughts on it? Because like initially I wasn't a fan of it, but kind of hearing them, I guess maybe Bron is protecting Bronny, right? Kind of how Rocco wanted. I mean, Jimmy was trying to protect Rocco, and then eventually even his eldest son, and a little bit to his daughter as well too. If I want to think about it,
yeah. So
what's your thoughts?
You got to look at it from all of the angles. First and foremost, father, right? And so, as a father, you have a child. You watch the child born. You have all these ideas, and you raise them,
right?
But why are you raising them? Right? To be what? To be who? And so, in this case, you're looking at legacy.
Yeah.
Taking over the business, taking over the company, taking over the firm. So, in order for them to do that, they have to have certain experiences.
Yeah.
So, the way I see it with LeBron, I hear a lot of people talking about his son should be in there, or, how did he get there? Well, suppose LeBron is looking at the bigger picture of the entire industry, and basketball is just part of it. There's the news media, there's the banking piece to it, there's the real estate side of it. There may be some international elements associated with it.
Yeah.
And there may be some other products,
additional entertainment like movie acting,
exactly,
stuff like that. Yeah.
But in order for him to walk that journey, similar to understanding what his father walked, playing in the basketball league is just a small portion of that, right? To be able to truly appreciate the bigness later on. Same thing in the movie. Mm-hmm. How you gonna run a gangster mob, drug lord type family if you don't get your hands dirty, if you don't get some experience?
That's true.
I agree with that. Like, he barely even got his hands dirty in the whole entire series. Like, he barely got it dirty probably like once or twice. But like, as a whole, like like you said, if you are the ringleader of one of the most dangerous drug families in the South, and you're not doing nothing, like nothing at all, it's a problem. It's a problem.
And so, from a legacy perspective, when you have two fathers, right? And eventually they're going to get old. And so now the question is, who do they leave their industry, their business, and all of their houses and cars and money and bank account and products and everything to?
Yeah.
Right? And so they want to possibly leave it to their family members, but the family members have had to earn it.
And they got
a woman.
And I think it's going to be interesting too, because so we got to see, like, was it Rocco? Or we saw his passing, but we got to see his other brother. Oh my goodness, why? Carlo. We got to see him actually mature a little bit. So, granted, he still made mistakes, but we got to see that maturity.
Yeah.
And I think for like the next season, all right, well, we get to see an additional maturity. Like we see constant character development amongst all people. Like, for example, Kane on Power.
Yeah.
He's grown immensely
Yeah.
for 3-4 seasons. So maybe we can see a similar thing with Carlo, and that ties in with Bronny as well. I think that brother is the one that maybe is being protected, right? Because he did something stupid, got caught up, supposed to be for the family. And now I also wonder, will he ultimately want the family business end of day? Same with Fia as well. Like Fia clearly wanted to get out of that family. Will we see one of Bron's kids be like that based on what he's trying to prepare? And I'm not trying to say that I hope that is out there. I'm just saying like those were comparisons of the show. Like
yeah. From a comparison perspective, though, everybody has to walk their own journey.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
But what is that journey? Is it a little journey, right? Is it a big journey?
Mm-hmm.
And do they even want it? So from a parent perspective, at least he's giving him opportunity.
Facts. Because and not ever and let's be real too.
He's giving. I mean, think about it. He's creating opportunity for his child.
And everybody would do the same thing if they could. Like realistically, let's not even fake that fault. And even that whole misuse of power. I think even that comparison between Adam and Michael. I don't think it's fair to try and say that's what Bron and Bronny is doing, because I think to some degree we have to acknowledge Bronny has deserved the right to play in the NBA. He deserved the right to be drafted. He put in that work. So at least that's my personal perspective. So I kind of hate that narrative that Bronny is the poster boy now for nepotism. I do, but I also understand it because I mean,
because it is a business.
No, it is. It's an entertainment business.
It's a business.
So whatever.
So to that end, a lot of people don't understand the money piece behind it and what needs to be done.
So as a martial artist, does knowing LeBron James is about to be on the same team as his son, does that make you, that part specifically, make you want to watch the NBA a little bit more?
Me?
Yeah, you personally.
Me personally?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay. All right. That's not a knock at that, by the way. I was just a genuine question. Because again, it's an entertainment draw. So I do know a lot of, like, for example, Chris Paul joined the Warriors last year. To me, happy as he. But to somebody else, he might not.
But with me, I'm more focused on my 1,404.
Yeah, I get that. But I was just asking because again, it's a significant thing.
I'm not giving that many minutes up to the NBA like that because they don't give me those minutes.
That's fair. That's right. I mean, we definitely got. He actually got more tick than I did in terms of NBA. We'll talk about that another day because the buzzer did unfortunately go.
I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them. And anytime, and I'll say it, anytime a black man is able to do for their son, that's a big deal compared to 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Compared to 100 years ago, when the system and industries deliberately prevented you from doing that, right?
Yep.
And blocked those types of things from happening. So behind the scenes, none of us know how much LeBron James have had to fight and argue and negotiate and go to bat and do things just to get to his son to where he's at. We see on the surface the outcome, but we don't see everything that he had to go through as a father, and maybe some sacrifices he had to make. All parents make sacrifices for their children. And so, to the point about the movie, all parents make sacrifices for their children. The judge went to jail for his son.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true.
And the bastard, he took an L for his son. And so the thing is, with LeBron, especially when it comes to being a parent, no parent has the requirement to tell the world everything they did for their child from a sacrifice perspective. Now I get it. We want to know. But LeBron be like, look, I'm going to take care of my son however I choose to take care of my son. You can call it nepotism. You can call it whatever you want to. I call it being a father.
That's fair.
So therefore, out of all the titles that you're saying, or all of the stuff you throw, all the shade you at the end of the day, when I wake up and go to sleep at night, I'm being a father. And so I would flip the script and say, all right, for everybody that's saying shade, how good a father are you?
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the shade that's being thrown at Bronny, but unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is the time for the quarter. It actually ended. It actually ended like a minute ago, literally a minute ago. But he kept talking. I told you I love to talk. But what we're gonna do is take a quick hiatus, pay some bills, come right back. You know what I'm saying? And then we got more stuff to talk about. So we'll be right back.
The I'm Perfectly Made Foundation believes that routine screenings can save lives and that access to these services should not be a barrier. Our mission is to promote eye health education, free eye exams, free eye screenings, and free glasses to our communities with the focus of highlighting early detection. The I'm Perfectly Made Foundation also gives individuals with low vision and blindness the opportunities to be a part of certain community events regardless of visual impairments.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we back. So, Guinness, we've been talking a little sports. Look, martial arts, though, is sports as well. I don't know if y'all know that, ladies and gentlemen, but got to talk about movies as well, because martial arts do have some wonderful movies. Some Kung Fu movies is pretty good. Reggie, since you're a martial artist, we did say fourth degree, right? We said fourth degree as bro man, you know what I'm saying? Or fourth degree, I'm sorry. Fourth degree, you know what I'm saying? What's your favorite? What's your favorite Kung Fu martial art movies? You gotta say movies pluralized.
So Kung Fu is China, right? Tae Kwon Do is Korean, and karate a lot of people associate with Japan. So, but martial arts is the overarching term that everybody's familiar with. But I wanted to make those distinctions. Don't say Kung Fu. It means China. But Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee, by far one of my favorites. Of course, with the nunchuck scene, which is why nunchucks is my favorite weapon of choice.
Okay.
Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, Five Fingers of Death. But then every time I get prepared for either a tournament or exhibition or promotion, I watch 36 Chambers of Shaolin. Okay. And that they break down a lot of the elements of technique and weaponry and the invention of certain different styles, kicks, and punches, and conditioning. It's really a powerful movie on conditioning. So those are some of my favorites.
Okay. Now, I mean, how about yourself there, champ? Are you a big martial arts movie? Did I get that? I said martial arts. Right? I got you.
As a young kid, I was. My favorite all-time movie is all of the Karate Kids, but
You're my answer.
That just was so wax. But like a show that I watched on Netflix called Echo Kai.
Tar Heels fans always be stealing. It's crazy. But it's a good series, though. It's a good series. You know they got a new Karate Kid coming out in 2025, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we gonna try and go to the movies
to learn about wax.
No, let's go. But that's a top. That was a top tier scene, bro. Wax off.
You know, I've been doing martial arts for 50 years.
Yeah, I just meant didn't want to come watch it. That's all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Will Smith is producing it, by the way. Just you said Will. That's what caught my attention. That's why. That's what
I said. Will see.
Yeah, and you know, S. Smith. It just caught my attention first. Not nobody else.
Now who likes to talk?
Well, me, because I got a show, but I know you do too on the daily. No. Yeah. Okay, so those are your favorite movies, though. And like I said, I agree with you as well. Like Kung Fu, I mean, oh my goodness.
Well, what's your favorite movie?
I was gonna say mine is the same as him. The main difference is, or the main addition.
I thought you would have said Power Rangers.
So it is, but I throw that more on like the, I guess, anime side, if you will, like that, like
some of those animes.
No, they no, them Jones is cool. Like Naruto definitely has some like martial arts stuff in there. Like, there's a bunch of fights, but I'm thinking like strictly they're painting that kung fu vibe, that martial arts vibe, like which you could say Dragon Ball Z, yes. But they try to add more real world elements to that too. I think Jackie Chan Adventures, or the Adventures of Jackie Chan, the cartoon. They were talking about Talisman and stuff like that. I thought those were pretty good shows.
Jackie Chan's bad, dude.
I remember you. I know that's your man.
He's got a serious training facility in China, where a lot of the actors and movie folks from all over go there and practice and train prior to them doing their scenes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So when you know stuff like that, you personally, when you watch some of the newer movies, because obviously when you're talking about like cinematic shooting and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit better quality nowadays. But at least like the storylines or stuff like that, like, do you appreciate the newer martial art movies or?
I appreciate good technique.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate good technique. You know, like side kick's a side kick. You know, front kick. You know, punch. And so, a lot of these people put in work. Mm-hmm. They're athletes, just like any other sport, and some of them are not martial arts enthusiasts like me, but they have to train to do the part. And that training still requires discipline and work, and sweat and hydration and all of the things that are required in order to be good at a technique or to do that thing that they do. And it's physical.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have respect for them. I'm not expecting them to jump in the ring and be in some heavyweight champion black belt tournament. But at the same time, I respect the work that they put into their craft to be good at whatever it is they're trying to do.
I agree. Like when you were watching like the basketball shows, like the Showtime Lakers ones.
Yeah.
Did you ever care about if people were using the correct form, or if you peeped like a terrible form, you're like, ew, that's disgusting. Did you ever cringe or stuff like that?
Really?
Okay. So every time I see like a sports show, I always try to see how do they shoot those sports scenes. If it's not realistic, it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. But also, same with the martial arts movies as well, too. I guess like Dragon Ball Z, they did shoot one movie, and I'm like, you know what? I just watched it because it's Dragon Ball. So, like, the fight scenes weren't the best. You know, I do like a little hand-to-hand combat. Oh, my God, Mortal Kombat. Why did I not think of that? Oh, my gosh, that's crazy. That was another good
one.
That was...
I liked all of them. Well, most of the Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Which one did you not like?
I don't want to talk about it. But it was more anime.
Okay. All right, that's the bet. That's the bet then. I mean, I did have about 3 more questions personally, but
in terms of basketball and martial arts.
Just in terms of list, it was going to be basketball and martial arts related, but the buzzer had just gone off. Unfortunately, we tried to keep this on a regulated schedule. My bad, fellas. That was on me. I didn't get all my questions off like that. I might transition them to the next one though. We'll see how it goes. But ladies and gentlemen,
like you said, you like to talk.
I was about to cut it right there to the transit. See how? Oh my gosh! You let people come into our wonderful abode. They still want to. Oh, it's crazy. But we'll be back though after a moment from our wonderful sponsors. Hooping is an activity that can be enjoyed by all. It's a team game about getting and stopping buckets. Everyone's always rushing to the goal. Well, make sure to rush and watch Team Gold Rush, one of the best teams in the Special Olympics of Virginia. Team Gold Rush even has former NBA All-Star participants on the team. Clearly, they've struck gold.
Ready to suit up and practice? I know. We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice still makes perfect. So when the opponent starts hitting their shots, Team Gold Rush can bounce back due to their training. Remember, offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. Watch us get a bucket and rush for the gold. We aim to be that gold standard. So want a team where you can win and have fun? Team Gold Rush is your number one.
All right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Reggie, you said something one time, talking about before your tournaments.
Yeah.
Right. You know, all right. I don't know what you was thinking, what you be doing. Right. But you said, brother, you watched, was it 36 chambers before every tournament? So I'm assuming that puts you in a certain mindset. Get us hip real quick to what mindset do you get into? And the reason why I ask is because as more so basketball fans, I do have a black belt. I just want to say that. Don't ask me to do no moves. But I would like to know what's your preparation to go into a tournament, because from our vantage point, at least in basketball, it's a specific mindset you got to go into, especially if you're talking about playoffs versus a basketball game. But what's your mindset like typically going into a match?
All right, so there's multiple type of layers for questions, but the last one I'll hit that one. Yeah. My mindset is it is a competition, but I don't want to be competing with the person that I'm fighting. I want to compete with my best self. Because the person that I'm fighting, I just want to annihilate them. I want to go in there and destroy them. So whatever it is that they bring in the ring, kicks, punches, whatever, I don't care. So I don't need any apprehension of they're better than me or they're bigger than me or they got better. I don't care. I'm coming in dangerous. I'm coming in hot. And that's my mindset. Now, I understand protect myself at all times. I'm not coming in reckless. Okay. But when I punch, I'm going to hit you so hard. When I kick, I want to kick you out the ring. When I look at my target and your head is my target, it's like hitting a ball off of a tee on a golf course. I'm going to take you out. And that's my mindset when I'm in the ring.
Now, because you mentioned golf, and I do golf, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about this just a little bit, right? When I swing at the golf ball, if I swing too hard, I'm going to mess up. So just to be clear, if I put, is there the same thing about too much focus in martial arts? Because again,
so if you swing too hard, you're gonna mess up. Tiger Woods wouldn't say that because he's got a lot more experience than you, have done a lot more swings. But that's an amateur mindset. I don't get in the ring as an amateur mindset.
Okay.
But you just said if I swing too hard, I'll mess up. No. Now I've kicked, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of times. Maybe you haven't swung a golf club hundreds of thousands of times.
Oh no, I have, because you gotta, if you're swinging at the golf ball, you're actually going to mess up as opposed to swinging through. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm trying my best to hit the ball as hard as I can,
I'm not going to work on technique. That's too much thinking. I am the weapon. I'm not thinking about how to kick. I'm not thinking about how to punch.
So a secondary nature to you.
I am the weapon. It's just I'm in a whole different zone. So I'm not thinking about I'm kicking too hard or kicking. None of that is even a thought. I'm just looking at my target, and I'm about to eliminate it. Oh, period.
Okay.
So it's not a how hard or how soft or over kicking or whatever. No, I've done that for the past 30 years, 40 years. That's no longer in my system to think about.
Okay.
It's like punching. I don't have to think about how to make the proper punch.
Right.
Or how to connect properly.
So it's just secondary nature to you. Yeah. When you go, you're kind of carefree because you already have your agenda. Not carefree, but I'm saying like you're not overanalyzing, you're not overthinking stuff. You're just making simple reads. I'm not trying to I'm just trying to make a little high level just to explain it properly. But you know what you're going to do. You're confident about it, so it's easier to do stuff in the ring for you because
I'm going to counter my opponent and annihilate.
Okay. I mean that's very like basketball. Keep it a buck with you. I mean, because I'm a Duke fan. Y'all know, good stop, right? And this is the Fart Heels over here. But we have like a love hate rivalry going on where Duke and UNC always clash. So I think it's a similar style. Like personally, brother, if we could, I'd love to annihilate y'all every single game we could. You know, so I do get that. But I mean, I don't know what's your thoughts?
Technically, we are the better blue than that blue. Just saying, 5-4, whatever. Respectfully, I agree with that. It's not that like we want to beat y'all every single time. It's the same thing like y'all want to beat us every time. Like we've been around for so long that those would be the two premier powers that would probably want to be fighting all the way until the end.
Yeah. Do you think though that we come in as like dangerous? Because he says he comes in dangerous though. Like I personally would love my players to come in dangerous every time. I don't think we do though. Do you think your boys?
And honestly, like if piggyback on that part too, like I'm a Miami Hurricane fan too. So like when we play at Florida State, we hate them. And some of the players or fighters, they don't know the rivalry or the history like that. Same thing with Carolina. I said Carolina Duke. Sometimes like we are we're the hunters and y'all the hunted. Vice versa. Y'all could be the hunters and we could be the hunted. So like it literally just
like that.
It's literally just
but I'm never pret. I'm always pret.
Okay.
And so when I step in the ring, I don't even have pret in my mind.
Can't someone view you though as prey too? Like okay, like that's my goal because you could be top.
They can view you as that, but I'm not.
You're not that.
Not in their head.
Okay.
So how would I know and why would I care?
I get that. It's just like when my Red Sox beat your Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, like, we got y'all. Y'all know that. We good.
Do you think LeBron James thinks about every shot that he takes, or does he just shoot because that's what he's done?
I think he does actually shoot. I think both shots. I think he does. Personally. Now again, not every single jump shot.
Does he think about his fingers and all of this other stuff and all the techniques and all of that? I mean, does he process all those different things, or is it just second nature?
I think he's processing it personally. Like again, there's second nature. Like his shooting mechanics can be second nature,
right?
But like he still got to make sure. Okay, well, am I on balance? Is this the right shot? Other stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I think he is.
Well, that's just like I got to deal with my opponent,
right? But it would be hard. Like it would be hard for me to think Steph Curry doesn't process his shot as well. Like not every single aspect of the shot. But like certain things you have to because it's part of the skill. Like I know if I have my hand placement right here, all right, when I come up, follow through. Oh, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like I have that skill aspect to rely on. But I'm not saying, okay, well, this pinky comes off at this point. Like, not like that. But he does. Yeah, so that's why. But okay. All right, so you're coming in dangerous. We want our players to come in dangerous. That'd be a little nice. Side note.
What if they came in soft?
And honestly,
well, yeah, that's a perfect question for a light blue team.
Nervous and apprehensive.
I mean, the soft blue team should speak to this.
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. You come in there soft, nervous, and apprehensive before the buzzer or bell or the whistle even start. You shouldn't even be in there.
Facts.
I've seen that happen in the ring where I'm like, that person's about to get hurt. They shouldn't be in there. This is a fight.
No.
And they're not bringing their fight with them.
No, in fighting, right? Because we talking about dangerous. So I got to ask before we close. Is there a deadliest form of martial arts? I looked it up, but I don't know, one, how to pronounce it, and then two.
So, I don't want to say or label any form of martial arts as the deadliest.
Okay.
Because even that style that you mentioned, first of all, that style's not 2,000 years old. So it's a baby. So therefore, how can it be the deadliest, right? Because the foundation of martial arts, is where a lot of this stuff comes from. And so that's a whole different discussion. But at the end of the day, you're saying this martial art's better, this martial art's better, this martial art. If I can punch through a concrete slab and your skull is softer than a concrete slab and I hit you, all right, it doesn't matter what style it is. The only thing matter is how effective I was.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You know what's crazy? Because when I look, it's Krav Maga, right?
Go ahead.
And so when I was looking it up, I was like, because it didn't make no sense. I didn't know what it was, but it's an accumulation of other, I guess, martial arts styles, and it made me think of, well, you just said something there. If I hit you with this one punch and knock you out, that's effective. So when we're thinking about the old school game, first all this new age stuff, like all these crossovers, all these deep threes, they weren't doing that back then, but they were effective though. So it's like when we view people as dangerous or the deadliest or the whatever the case may be, or this is the best style because we're looking at today's styles. Back then,
they was 130.
Yeah, not efficiently though, but like they not that little bit. I mean, but it's still an effective style though, and it does need to be studied as well. But also too, you can't go through you can't get to Krav Maga unless I get to Tae Kwon Do, unless I do karate, unless I do all these basic.
I don't know about that.
I was saying that because that's the one I know. I was like, yeah,
so I can't. I'm not gonna say you can't get to that without doing this.
Okay.
I give y'all one prime example before we close. Back in the 80s, and when the Pistons they played the Bulls, they had one rule. It's called Jordan rules. What that means is anybody but Jordan will give you free reigns. As long as he don't beat us, you're good to go.
Yeah, they used to karate chop his ass too. Yeah. So, I mean, okay. I see what you're saying. Well, unfortunately, fellas, we got to karate chop this quarter a little short. You know what I'm saying?
Karate chop as in Japanese.
I mean, martial arts chop didn't sound that good, so.
I understand.
What we gonna do is take a quick hiatus, pay some bills, come right back.
Kung Fu.
What do you say? Yeah, that's
Chinese.
So we'll be right back after a moment from my sponsor.
Sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. Whether with coworkers, friends, family, we all love the entertainment. Well, here on Get a Bucket, my goal is to talk about sports and its cultural impact. The WNBA, for example. The WNBA is loads of entertainment. From the new rookies battling, displaying their skill sets, and preparing to take the league by storm, to the titans and the MVPs of the league clashing for battles we'll always remember. From imagining the soon-to-be possibilities, to admiring and treasuring the finales. Get a Bucket is a platform where other sports analysts, hoopers, coaches, and fans of the show come and talk about the WNBA, both negatives and positives. So if you haven't, take a quick peek. At the very least, you'll have a good time. Remember, sports is one of the few things that genuinely connects us together. So please, tune in and stay connected.
All right, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't forget y'all, right? But I'm speaking to the fella, you know what I'm saying? Reggie, we've talked about before, you're a 4th degree black belt, right? But we be getting the bucket sometimes. Look at that. Oh, fast talk. Turnover. Give me the ball back. Trifling. Can't trust fart heels, right? So clearly, we like hoops. We're trying to learn a little bit more about martial arts. Now, I've done a little bit, right? Just a little bit of sparring, but I forgot a few things. So I can't answer these questions. What is something like a 2 and 3-pointer in basketball in comparison to martial arts?
So in tournaments, you have points, and you have what's called significant impact when you're punching with your fist. Because you can punch with your fist and don't get any points.
Okay.
And so in Tae Kwon Do, you hit someone, you might get 1 point.
Okay.
And if you kick them, you might get 2. You should get 2 points. Especially if you kick them in the chest.
Right.
You do a nice round kick, side kick. But if you kick them to the head, that could get you 3 points. So it shouldn't be easy to kick somebody to the head. My last tournament, I broke this guy's nose, sent him to the hospital with a jump spinning round kick to his face. And I would have had 3 points. Well, I did have 3 points, but it also ended the fight. So that's it. Like 3 points is maybe a punch. There's 1 point, a kick to the chest, 2 points, but a kick to the head, 3 points. Jump spinning, crescent kick, 3 points to the head.
Okay. What you got? I mean, I'll just be rattling off basketball terminologies in comparison. Because
you know what? I definitely do have a equivalent. What do you think is a dunk or like a layup equivalent into a martial arts?
That's fair. I like that one.
Dunk. Because a dunk ain't nothing you can do about it. You coming down, you dunk, it's a done deal.
Right.
So, however, with a dunk, it's still 2 points and you keep going.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And so in martial arts, for instance, I was in a tournament, I did a stepping side kick, knocked the guy out the ring. And when he came back, so that was only worth 2 points. But when he came back in, I beat him psychologically. So I gotten up in his head, right? Okay. And so to me, that was a dunk.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because at that point, I had him.
Now the layup is still 2 points to your point, right, about the dunk.
So layup
softer though. So
a layup, a nice soft layup to me, maybe a round kick.
Okay. Maybe it's still worth the same amount of points.
So it's worth a round kick properly placed can be worth 3 points.
Oh.
But a layup, it's just a pretty shot, right? A layup,
a pretty basic kick.
It is.
Okay.
And a round kick is a basic kick, but it's nice and pretty.
Okay.
Okay. A layup is pretty.
Okay.
And you got to get in to do a layup.
That's fair.
You got to get in to do a layup.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious about. Well, I was gonna get a little more technical, like floaters, crazy layups, stuff like that. We're gonna keep it simple though. How about, because in basketball, right, you get fouled, get sent to the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? What we got for that? Like, is there a free throw in martial arts where you
there's no free throw.
Okay, I didn't know. You have to get a free
there are fouls.
Okay.
No free throw. For instance, if there's a boundary line and you step out of the boundary line, that's considered a foul.
Okay.
And if you, for instance, you heard no hit below the belt.
Yeah.
That's a foul.
Okay.
A cheap shot.
Right.
That's a foul.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many fouls do you get in a match? Because like in basketball, depending on level, you get 5 to 6 fouls before you get ejected. Okay.
It depends on the referee.
Okay.
So the referee can take a point away from you. The referee, you've seen it in boxing where they take a point away from you. Or you can just do straight up fragrant foul. You can get disqualified. Okay. Yeah. So it depends on how that foul is viewed by the referee.
Okay. So I definitely got another one. So how is a crossover or breaking somebody's ankles is in boxing? I mean, and martial arts. Yes.
To be clear, he don't actually mean breaking somebody's ankle, which I feel like could happen in martial arts. So I just had to make sure they knew what he was talking about. What you got for us?
Crossover, juking somebody. All right.
AI.
Yes.
All right. So, and juking is also soccer, right?
Yeah.
So
that's true too.
Pele.
Messi and them.
No, Pele.
Oh, Pele.
Yeah, he was the master juker.
So
I just
the late Pele.
So in martial arts, you have several things. You have combinations and you have fakes.
Right.
So my signature fake was front kick, round kick. So therefore, you're seeing the front kick coming and you're blocking, you're going after the front kick, trying to stop it. But by the time you do that, the round kick has got you. The other thing is I teach my students, Your hands open up your feet opens up your hands. So if I want to kick you, I'm going to punch you. If I want to punch you, I'm going to kick you because you're going to try to block the kick, so I'm going to punch you. Or you're going to try to block the punch, so I'm going to kick you. Okay. And so those are similar to doing a crossover because it's fake.
Right, fake out. Okay. That's what that is what a crossover is, based on fake out. Okay.
It's fake. Matter of fact, I do got another question to ask. So, what boxer do you see that could do martial arts, and which martial arts fighter that you can see yourself wanting to see in the boxing ring? Because that was one of my questions that I just want to ask. So yes.
We do have some people who have gone from like sports like NFL and basketball into the boxing and martial arts world too. So like Greg Hardy with my Panthers, he's on he did MMA. So we got people who
so I look at MMA totally different. Then I look at
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Martial arts and whatnot. And it's hard for me to say, especially now, because it's been such a gravitation towards a lot of this being entertainment now.
I agree.
That's fair. And I don't really view it from that perspective. Okay. If that's what they want to do, fine. But I don't really watch MMA. And
we might have to have you over there, dog, and then watch a couple matches.
I've seen it.
Yeah, they be hit.
But I'm also looking for some other types of things, and I'm just not seeing it. And I watch martial arts tournaments. So your point about a martial artist becoming a boxer and a boxer becoming a martial artist.
Yes.
Bruce Lee is the prime example.
Okay.
Bruce Lee was a cha-cha dancer. Bruce Lee was the grand champion of China as a dancer. And then because of bullying, he learned boxing. And therefore he became a boxer. And
before he became a martial artist.
And so he started boxing.
Oh, dope.
And then later he learned Chinese boxing. And he got so fascinated with the science of that then he started learning more about different arts and styles to the point he created his own Jeet Kune Do, which incorporated a lot of the other different types of martial arts. So when you talk about the ebb and flow between boxing and martial arts, I think about Bruce Lee and how he understood the science of it, and he put the discipline in to work on the various techniques to be good at both. So that's why I said, some things, I don't really pay that much attention to it because I'm looking at it from that standard. Yeah. And not to say that it's not out there now, but I'm busy. I had my 1,440 minutes is spent doing Reggie. I'm not out here trying to follow the world and what they're doing. Yeah. I'm living.
I would
just living life.
I was gonna say I would like to see, because again, right? Think a nice little MMA match. Maybe we pick a night, get some steaks on the grill, something like that. Make a moment out of it
to watch it,
but also to see through your lens, a martial artist lens, what some professionals are doing that's considered wrong in your eyes. Because I think that'd be a nice way to at least critique the MMA, not necessarily from to be negative, but to say, okay, well, this is what you mean by what you think is.
I've seen MMA fights and I've watched techniques. I've seen good techniques. I've seen brawling techniques, and I've seen what I consider gladiator type stuff. I'm not that gladiator type person. But I've seen people, I'm like, whoa, that was a good round kick. That was a good side kick. That was good technique. And I've watched their body and how they, able to summon all of their energy from their feet to, punch. So I've seen that. So yeah, I don't mind looking at what you and giving you my lens.
Okay.
But I don't follow it enough to tell you, who they are.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I want to know. I'm very curious about, because one of my favorite fighters right now is Israel Adesanya. So I'm very curious what your thoughts are about him, because he likes I think he likes that martial arts culture as well. which, I mean, you got to some degree in order to be an MMA. Personally, I think like you got to love that to some degree. But I definitely want to know your thoughts about him because I've heard mixed reviews. A lot of people do like, for what I know, but like I said, I'm just curious about that.
I mean, I would need to study his technique.
Yeah,
because for me, what's the value?
Okay.
There's a lot of value in studying Bruce Lee. There's a lot of value in studying Jackie Chan, even Jet Li. Right? There are some greats out there who put so much energy, time, and effort into mastering the craft.
Yeah.
And so the point is, and there are a lot of folks out there, right?
Okay.
And so when you just start randomly saying folks in needs, I'm thinking, all right, fine, but what's their contribution to the body of martial arts that is so much of value that I need to study them and learn from them that I don't already know?
Okay. I don't know that answer for you. I'm gonna have to try to do a little due diligence, a little more research. So I can get that.
What's the other guy? Michael Jal, brother. I mean, his technique. I see him do techniques. I'm like, I want to be like that. So there are certain martial artists that when I see them and I study their technique, what I also want to know is what's their training regiment.
Right.
Because what you see on camera or what you see in, live, that's just for a moment.
Fact.
But what about those hundreds and thousands of hours that it took for them to be able to deliver that technique that we see? That's the work.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about the work.
Yeah.
Not what you see in a martial arts ring or MMA ring.
Facts.
I want to know what went on to get them to where they are.
Yeah.
And where was their discipline and all of that. So, again, what am I doing and what I'm not doing in the preparation?
Okay.
And hell, I'm 62 years old. So, I'm not bad.
Okay.
For 62.
Okay. Now, we have one more question before we close, right?
We do.
We have one more question before we close because you had said this one, right?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Set up. You just showing it to them like.
Could you see a co-ed at tournament?
Oh, co-ed tournament. So, yes and no. There are men out there that would love to fight women.
And there's a lot of women that would love to fight the men.
Yes.
Okay.
And so to that end, it does happen. I fought women, right? Not in a tournament, but in training.
Right.
And there are women out there that will annihilate them. They will go up one side and down the other. But in order to standardize it, and because right now we have all these categories.
Yeah.
So in order to mix these categories, all right, where's the volume in that, right? Are we looking at 100 women and 100 men? Because there are body differences, right? And the sports industry is going through that now, right?
Yes.
You have someone who is claiming the female gender. Correct. They have all of these male physiological elements about them. And they're out there competing as a woman, but they have a man's body. And they're winning and annihilating the women. And so this is something that industry really would need to grapple around to do the analysis. But for me, there are probably some women that can get in the ring with me and tear me up, right? But if you were to look at the average woman, we're just not built the same, right? So, it's hard to just say a hard yes or a hard no.
Right.
Because I have fought some women who, they were so good. I'm like,
right.
Let me turn the notch up. But then if I turn the notch up and I hurt them,
that's a little tough.
Now
that's tough. That's a little tough too.
It's like, that's Reggie.
Yeah. I get
you just knocked her out.
I get that.
Like, well, if she was going to knock me out.
I feel
you know what I mean?
Because
and she may even have that respect. Be like, well, yeah, he was right. I was going to knock him out. But everybody else may not see that. And so it becomes really messy.
And also, that's the same thing with at basketball too.
Yeah.
Like, you will have some women that would love, and I mean love to bust the men's ass on the court every single day.
Yeah.
I've seen
and can.
And
not even just all in, like, bro.
No.
I'm talking about from professionals all the way down to kids. That is the case. Like, oh my God, as kids, it's worse.
And so adults, I say, and kids, yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah, but like adults, pros, amateurs, whatever the case may be, you can seize a woman that literally can give a brother some booty.
Yeah.
So I think what will happen in the future is there may be a separate category that gives people an option.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can opt in. And I know when I was, when I was in the regular fighting, you could be a blue belt, and there's no blue belts in the building to fight. So you could opt into the higher belt.
Okay.
Right? Because there's nobody at your level to fight.
Okay. If you opt down though, like that,
there's no such thing as opt down. That'd be like, I'm a black belt, 4th degree. I want to fight the brown belts. No.
Because I'm thinking in special case. So you just have no one to fight in for that tournament. It's a walk.
Well, black belt.
No, so if I come in as a blue belt, there are no blue belts, and I don't want to opt to fight up in a higher class.
Yeah.
Then I just
you get a good sportsmanship.
Here you go, little fella. Okay.
But back to the woman piece. There may be a separate category that folks can opt in to because that's what they want to do. And you must compete. So they wanted to be in your category. Everybody in the category don't want them. So 10 people don't get a choice, but these 2 people get a choice. I think in the future, there'll be something like the consensus of everybody can choose to be in a particular category to opt in. So you know what you're getting into, right? Okay. You know that you're competing against somebody, for instance, steroids. Right? So
that plays a part in all sports.
Yeah, but it's still an enhancement of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have all of this gender stuff going on.
Let's say
which is similar in the sense that, all right, their body is still larger. I don't want to say the word superior, but larger and have more capability. As if they're on steroids, but it's okay because they're not on steroids. Well,
yeah, no, you get people who definitely look.
But if that person is winning every single thing hands down, because technically they're a man, but they're not on steroids, well, none of the women are winning. So now, do these women get a choice, right, of whether or not they even want to have this person competing against them? They don't have a choice right now.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's true.
It's an imposition, and I think that in the future, some of those things will be a lot more thought through. But for now, it's messy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little messy on the basketball side too. I know people have talked about should you make like a transgender league or whatever the case may be? Because I know if transgenders enter the WNBA, like people have spoke out against that, and I get both sides too. So and it's very tricky. It's very political. You gotta. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully they can figure it out sooner rather than later. But no, I mean, this was a good conversation though, fellas. I greatly appreciate this one. Buzzer went off, unfortunately.
It's all right.
You know what I'm saying?
That happens.
Yeah. But Reggie, we greatly appreciate you for your time, for your efforts. I know you were saying something about giving them your flowers. So
yeah, but my brother, thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your techniques. Bro, I'm saying like this. You are damn near welcome. Let's come back on the show and bless us with anything, because this is my first time knowing about martial arts. And so learning from somebody that's been around the game for 30 to 40 plus years, I definitely wanted to say thank you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You never invited anybody back.
I'm all playing, but hey.
I'm saying he's never invited anybody back before, so never actually said it out loud. So you did well. You did well. Appreciate you, Reggie, for coming on to the show per usual. I always enjoy you, always per usual. So, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you all enjoyed the show. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about Well, Reggie, for starters, because he did come onto the show, you know what I'm saying? You can follow him a couple times. We got his bio posted. But then also our show as well. My name is Trey.
I'm your boy Chris.
Like I said, we the hosts of Get a Bucket. Hope you all are having a good one. Take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.